Hello, my friends. Welcome to your Tuesday Thought Twist. I am your mistress of alignment, Deb Penner. This is your weekly opportunity to become a better manager of your beautiful human brain. This week, we're actually going to talk about a sense inside of you that doesn't have very much to do with your human brain. But before we do that, I need to know who has ever been in this situation. You're about to do something and you think, I shouldn't do this because X, Y, and Z is going to happen. And then you do it anyway, and X, Y, and Z happens. Who has been there? I want to see it in the comments if that's happened to you. Guys, that's happened to me so many times, I can't even count. So many times in my life, I've been in that situation. I'm better now at listening to that voice inside of me, but so many times. That voice is your inner knowing. It's the sense, the sensation, the sound, the vibration, maybe even literally the words inside of you that say, yes, go do this, or no, don't do that. And this is a sense that we all have inside of us. Whether or not we're listening, it's always there. Super fast story about this inner knowing. A few weeks ago, my husband was out fishing for the day with a friend. I was going to go paddleboarding. I went to the garage to get my paddleboard and it wasn't there. And I thought, where's my board? I always put it right here. I'm a person who always puts things back, and my paddleboard has a space and it wasn't in there. And I thought, well, maybe my husband had to move it for some reason, but I don't know why. It's not in the way here. I'm looking around the garage and something inside of me said, look in the back of his truck. And I thought, why would my paddleboard be in the back of his truck? I don't leave my paddleboard in the back of his truck. If we had taken his truck somewhere with my paddleboard, I would have taken it out and I would put it right here. Look in the back of his truck. I go look in the back of his truck and there's my paddleboard. Once I find it there, I remember, oh, while I was out of town a few weeks ago, he did a race with some friends and one of them didn't have a paddleboard and he borrowed mine. I didn't put it there. I didn't really know it was there. I had no reason to think of it being there. But inner voice told me, hey, your paddleboard's in the back of your old man's truck. Go look in there. Silly example, but we all have this voice inside of us that is always offering us guidance. Say yes to this phone call. Don't go to that party. Don't have another drink. Say yes to this person's request. Take on this project at work. Take this risk. Don't take that risk. It's always there for us, offering us beautiful communication from a sense that really isn't connected to our human brain. And I pick on our human brain a lot in these videos, but our brain has really important jobs in our life. Our brain is really useful when it is in service to things that are bigger, deeper, wiser. One of those things is your heart, and another one of those things is your inner knowing. So this sense inside of you that just knows what you should do, where you should go, where you should stand firm, where you should give a little bit, where you need to be curious, when you're out of alignment. This sense inside of you is calling for your trust. And if you're willing to offer this inner knowing your trust, I promise you, it will lead you in incredible directions. So I'm going to offer you an opportunity to think back through some times in your life when maybe you have listened to this sense and think about how that's gone for you. And then think about some of those times I was laughing about at the beginning of this segment, those times when you thought, I really shouldn't do this because this is going to happen. And then you do it and that happens. Think about those times too. Start reflecting on how you experience your inner voice. For me, it's literally like a thought, but it doesn't come from here. It's like I have a thought here and then it moves up into my head. It's a very interesting sensation for me. So what is your inner voice like? Is it in words like mine is? Or is it in colors? Is it in emotions? Is it in some other kind of sound or vibration? Or is it just a sense of knowing? A lot of people don't experience something sensory like sights, words, sounds, colors. They just have this knowledge inside of them. So think about your inner voice. Think about what it feels like, how it shows up for you. Spend some time reflecting on what it's been like for you in the past when you haven't listened to this sense inside of you. And then maybe moving forward, you might want to start intentionally tuning into that voice, noticing when it has something to say to you, and then maybe trying to follow that and paying attention to how that works out for you. I would really love to hear your stories in the comments about times that you have and haven't listened to this sense inside of you, what the results of that have been like, what your inner voice feels or sounds like to you, your inner knowing. Love to hear those things in the comments. And if this is a sense that you would like to develop, if you'd like to be able to rely more on this knowing, if you're looking maybe for the reasons why it's hard for you to do that, lots of things happen in our life that separate us from this sense of knowing inside. If you'd like to explore that a little bit more, I would love to hop on the phone with you. It's always free to schedule a chat on the phone. The easiest way to do that is just to head over to my website, which is drops, DROPS, withdeb.com. And right there at the top of the page is a picture of me with a little button right next to it. Just click on that button. You'll be able to schedule a time. We can get on the phone and we can talk about this inner sense, this knowing. How do you connect with it? What is keeping you from it? How do you learn to trust it? And then how do you let it guide you in your life? I promise you, it is worth the effort to make contact with the sense inside of you because it is incorruptible. This inner knowing is something that only and always has your best and highest good at the center of it. And it's always going to be driving you towards those things which are for your best and highest good. So I can't wait to hear your stories about your inner knowing, and I'll see you next week.